The skies above Mount Hermon loomed dark and foreboding, as though the heavens grieved over the corruption spreading across the earth. The once holy watchers, heavenly beings of great authority and wisdom, had descended from above to take mortal wives and unleash disorder upon mankind. Their rebellion defiled creation, and their offspring, the Nephilim, became monstrous giants of ruin. Humanity's desperate cries ascended to the Most High, who could no longer allow the devastation to continue unpunished. Among the 200 watchers that descended, one had already met judgment. Azazel, the instigator of their revolt, had been chained by the angel Raphael in the desolate wastelands of Dudiel. His doom was eternal and irreversible. But the other 199, under the proud leadership of Samiaza, also called Simjaza, still roamed unchecked, spreading their corruption. The Lord decreed their end had arrived. From his throne in heaven, the Lord summoned Michael, the mighty archangel renowned for his strength and faithfulness. Michael stood radiant before the throne, aglow with divine brilliance. The Lord's command rolled out like thunder, shaking the foundations of the heavens. Michael, the Lord declared, "Go forth and bind Simjaza and those who defiled themselves by uniting with women. When their sons kill one another, and they witness the fall of their beloved, fasten them securely for 70 generations, 8,400 years, within the depths of the earth. Keep them there until the day of their final judgment is fulfilled." Michael bowed in solemn obedience, burdened by the magnitude of this sacred mission. He had battled demons and cosmic evil before, but this was different. This mission required him to imprison once loyal angels who had betrayed their calling. Michael descended to the earth, shaking the ground with his arrival. Even nature recoiled at the filth spread by the watchers. He made his way to the deep valleys around Mount Hermon, where the watchers had settled. The air was thick with decay and blood, evidence of the Nephilim's violent rule. As Michael drew closer, he saw the watchers assembled in a wide clearing. Once glorious, they now appeared warped and shadowed by sin. Simjaza stood at their front, his eyes fierce with rebellion. Behind him, the rest bore faces of dread mixed with arrogance. "Simjaza," Michael called out, his voice echoing with divine power, "your end has come. By command of the Most High, you and your kind shall be bound for 8,400 years beneath the earth, awaiting judgment." Simjaza sneered, his laughter a chilling rasp. "You think you can imprison us, Michael? We are mightier than your petty orders." Michael's eyes blazed with divine fire. "Your might is meaningless next to the will of the Almighty. You have polluted yourselves and the world. This is your just end." What followed was a clash unlike any seen before. The watchers unleashed their full strength, conjuring storms and quakes, but Michael stood unshaken. With each swing of his heavenly blade, he shattered their dark sorcery, overpowering them one after another. Simjaza battled like a beast cornered, but he too fell beneath Michael's might. With a final strike, Michael subdued him and wrapped him in chains forged by heaven's flame. Seeing their leader fall, the others attempted escape, but Michael pursued them all. One by one, they were bound, screams of resistance turning into howls of despair. When all were chained, Michael took them to a deep, concealed valley cloaked in gloom. There, he cast them into the earth, sealing the abyss with a divine mark to hold them for 8,400 years. The valley quaked as it closed over them, their wails lost to the void. Standing over their prison, Michael felt deep sorrow. These beings had once been his brothers, now doomed to suffering. But their punishment was righteous. They had brought ruin upon the world, and justice had to be done. The Lord's voice rang again in Michael's heart. "Wipe out all the spirits of the corrupted and the offspring of the watchers. They have defiled humanity. Let evil works cease, and let righteousness take root." Michael began his final task, hunting the Nephilim and the corrupted spirits. He moved without mercy, his sword cutting through their shadowy forms. The earth trembled under his justice, cleansing itself of long-standing filth. When the final Nephilim fell, Michael stood atop a hill surveying the land. The skies began to clear. A fresh wind blew through, carrying the scent of rebirth. A new beginning had come. The seed of righteousness had been planted, and evil was cast down. Beneath the ground, the 199 watchers lay chained, their bodies broken and twisted. The bonds around them, crafted by God himself, could never be broken. The crushing weight of earth pressed down like a tomb. For 8,400 years, they would endure this punishment. No relief, no rest, only waiting. Waiting for the final day when they would be cast into the eternal fire. Still, a trace of rebellion lingered. Semjaza, though fettered, refused to surrender his pride. He whispered in the dark, his voice cold and venomous. "We will not be forgotten," he hissed. "Our time will return. The earth will remember our names, with dread and awe." The other watchers murmured their assent, their tones dripping with resentment. They would wait, clinging to hatred, until judgment came. And when that moment arrived, they would unleash their wrath once more. As centuries passed, mankind forgot the watchers. The land healed, and righteousness flourished. But deep in hidden valleys, the watchers waited, festering in silence. Though their hour was distant, the earth was never truly rid of their stain. As long as they remained buried, their evil legacy lingered, casting a faint shadow over the world. But for now, the earth was calm. And Michael, heaven's champion, stood watch, his blade ever ready to shield against darkness. The 199 watchers were imprisoned, but their saga was not finished. Deep in the darkness, they waited and plotted. Ancient texts recount an age when angels walked the earth, not as holy envoys but as traitors to the divine order. At the center of their fall stood Semjaza, also known as Shamhazai, Azza, or Uzzah, the leader of the 200 angels who abandoned their post to wed mortal women, siring monstrous Nephilim. But their rebellion came at a terrible price. Judgment came swiftly. Semjaza, once mighty, faced a punishment worse than death, eternal bondage and torment. Once sent to guide humanity, the Watchers gave in to desire. Enchanted by mortal beauty, they fathered a race of giants, Nephilim, whose wickedness ravaged the world. The Book of Enoch tells of how they consumed everything, even turning on mankind. They spread forbidden knowledge, sorcery, warfare, and mysteries of the heavens, leading humans deeper into ruin. As chaos spread, cries of agony reached heaven. The archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, stood before God's throne, reporting the collapse of creation. Then came the divine decree. It was time to cleanse the world. Even as the Nephilim perished in their war, the Watchers remained proud. Semjaza, once revered, now bore the weight of his betrayal. He had led the oath atop Mount Hermon and polluted the earth. But his reckoning had come. The verdict was pronounced. Bind Semjaza for 70 generations in earth's valleys until the day of final judgment. 1 Enoch 10:12. Obeying this command, the angels descended and seized Semjaza. Stripped of power, he was chained beneath the mountains for 70 generations. The once glorious leader now lay imprisoned, awaiting eternal judgment. But others would suffer too. The Watchers who followed him shared his sentence. They too were headed for the abyss of fire, a place of endless pain. In those days, they shall be taken to the abyss of fire, to torment and prison where they will be confined forever. 1 Enoch 10:13-14. This abyss, described in sacred texts as a realm of eternal agony, became the Watchers' grave. In this pit where time ceased, they would bear the full weight of divine justice. Thank you for your support.